All right. Carlos, you're here at Houston Christian working out. What is it about Houston that keeps you coming back to stay here this offseason and every offseason to work out?
Well, this is home. This is where I have my house. Is where we spend every single offseason. We love it here. So, every time the season's over, we always come back.
It's been an interesting offseason for you. What was that like mentally going through? All right, you got one deal, it falls through. You got a second deal, it falls through, and then the third one finally worked out with Minnesota.
Yeah, it was. That was not part of the plans, of course. When the first deal fell through, at that point, we had to, reassess and think about our options. And right away, we signed with the Mets. That fell through also, and then, we end up deciding for a shorter-term deal with some options in there. And the way I see it is, if I can finish these 10 years with the Minnesota Twins and, finish 10 years of the contract, then it will be 11 years at 305. So I would say that's a pretty good deal for free agency since I hit it last year. So, also I was a bit concerned about the 13 years. My son will be 14 at the time, and my plan going to the offseason was 8 years, 9 years, and then turning time for 11. So the market completely changed, and teams were doing more years, less AAB. But I'm happy I get to now decide when I want to stop playing or if I want to keep playing after 6 years. So. I'm just going to focus right now on the work that I'm doing and make sure I'm ready for the next at least 6 years and so on.
Was it surprising to you that, I know there always been kind of questions about your back, and then out of nowhere it felt like ankle turned out to be the question. Was it surprising to you that that's what came up?
Yeah, it was very surprising. The back is a thing of the past. In 2018, the last 3 seasons I played full seasons with no issues. I've never been on the IL or ever missed any games because of that. I never missed a game because of the ankle either. So, it was surprising for sure. I was going to a physical 100% sure that it was going to be fine because I'd done 3 physicals the previous year. And then that popped up. So, we had to deal with that and learn how to manage.
Were those physicals any different than ones you'd done previously?
No, they were the same other than we did an MRI on the ankle. They did x-rays before. I guess the MRI shows something.
You also, this past offseason, got to do some TV. I thought you were pretty good at it.
Thank you.
What was that like to learn kind of a different side of the game and do TV?
It was fun, man. It was fun. I might be coming for your job, but
yeah.
No, I'm messing. It was fun, but it's not where I want to be come October. With the Minnesota Twins, I have a good chance with the core group of talented players to win the Central and go into postseason baseball once again, and that's my goal moving forward. The TV can't wait until I retire.
I thought it was interesting the way that you talked about it, like how contracts are done, right? You need to have OPS, and it's a little different than old school thinking. Yeah. So if you do have to do TV at any point, what kind of thing do you think you can bring to it that other people might not be able to?
Just the inside look of how players think inside the clubhouse. Baseball has changed so much, and there's still that old school mentality lingering around. Talking about batting average and home runs and RBIs, and that really doesn't matter. I mean, if you go to a big league clubhouse and you start talking about average home runs and RBIs, nobody's going to take you serious. So there's so much more to the game, so much more data, so much more stats that you can look at to define how good a player is other than home runs, average, and RBIs. So just the inside look of how front offices think nowadays, why they give out the contracts that they give out, and the way the process works.
Well, that's one for you. You get a lot of credit from Jeremy Pena, prepping him a little bit for the role that he had. What did you see in him when you first got to see him, and how impressed were you with his run?
I was very impressed with his glove and the way he moved shortstop. I was very impressed with his physique. I mean, he's one of the strongest guys in the league, I feel like. His swing developed throughout the year. Throughout the regular season, he was a little out of sync, and then like the last 2 weeks of the season, the hitting coaches worked with him, and his swing got in sync right away, and it looked really good, and that translated into a postseason. That's going to translate for the rest of his career. So the best of Jeremy Pena, I feel like, is yet to come, because he clicked those last couple of weeks of the season. He did it in the playoffs, and I think he's going to do it for the rest of his career.
What kind of advice did you give him when you first started telling him how to be a pro, basically?
Just how to go out the business and control what you can control, and that's the preparation every single day. Doesn't matter if you go 0 for 4, you go 4 for 4. The next day you gotta show up and do it all over again. So the preparation is what matters, not the results. So if you focus on the preparation, the things you can control, at the end of the day, you're gonna have results.
All right, Carlos, best of luck in Minnesota. Great to see you.
Good seeing you, brother. Take care.